Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I forgot to turn up the sound again. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 15 on the Canadian farm. Now, I'm starting off in cabin already in the field because there are a few things I want to talk about. Mainly because I've brought the map into Giant's Editor and done a bit of tinkering. There are a few things about the map that were annoying me, and I have fixed them, so it looks a bit different to the version, if you want to get it, that you'll download. I really should put links to the maps I'm using in the description, but I don't, so meh. The first thing I did was Field 3, well actually this is the last thing I did, but Field 2 had a region in it that I didn't like. I think it was a mistake on the part of the mod author, the map maker. So what I did was I smoothed it out, and it should be a little less severe now. The actual first thing I did, and I'm going to show the second thing I did, because this is coming out now, is I actually changed the material of the ground here. I've made it into asphalt because I felt it should be asphalt, especially with the grain, all the grain stuff around here. And you'll notice this place is a bit different as well. I've removed the entire back plate here. This was actually made up of concrete planks all along here, or concrete slabs, quite small, but I got rid of all of them around the back. The trigger points still work perfectly. I just got rid of the concrete, and around the front here you'll see I've made a little ramp, and this is done just by tilting the concrete into the ground and moving it into the right position. It's not perfect, as you can see, but it's a lot of a smoother transition. It's really, I've actually just improved this by tinkering a small bit. It took me maybe about half an hour in Giant's Editor to just get it like this. Like I said, it's not perfect. There are some small gaps and overlaps, but it works for the purposes I'm using it for. Finally, I forgot to lower that. Ignore the floating straw, that's my fault. I have fixed this. What I did was I moved the wood in here for reasons. I forgot to lower the straw, which was sitting on the wood, and now it's floating a bit. I've also moved the bale destroy trigger, and I wonder will this show up. No. Yeah. Is that the bale destroy trigger? Yes, it is. So this, I'm gonna come in here. See this orange line? If you follow it out, I'm gonna try and keep this steady. This is the bale destroy trigger, and it comes out to about here now. And the reason I moved it is so that I don't have to try and back trailers into here, especially the auto stackers. I can now just offload the bales about here-ish, and it will be fine. It looks a lot less weird. Let's get back into fast track, because we're going to be stacking these up somewhere where I haven't figured out where. I'm going to stack these up by the silo, the silage clamp. I did forget to get rid of the foliage layer here. That's fine. But yes, I have tinkered the map. There's asphalt down here because I really felt this should have been asphalt in the first place, or cobblestone or something. That is just a bug with the rental mod, the submerged water. I also, and I'm gonna have to drive around a bit to show you this, but I've also moved the water plane. So I'm just going to disconnect that so that it lowers by itself, and I'm going to come over here because I think there should be water in the ditches over here now. I think. I haven't actually checked in Giant's Editor, but some of these ditches should have water now, unless the water plane is still a bit too low. Let's have a look. No, it's still a bit low. The reason I had to, well, the reason I wanted to move the water plane was so these ditches would get filled with water. The problem is over here. Over here you'll see there's a bit of a river going on. And the problem I kept encountering was, if I raised up the water plane too much, and I'm just going to go over here because the actual problem was right over here. If I raised up the water plane too much, all of this would get covered in water, and I'm not sure it's supposed to be. All of this would get covered in water, and some of these trees would end up underwater as well, which I thought was a bit silly. So it kept the water plane pretty much where it was originally. It looks nice now, though, but, well, it hasn't really changed much. But I have fixed some minor issues with the map that I thought were a bit silly. I've also turned this area into cobblestone because of reasons. I've figured the house needed a driveway and a parking spot. This is going to stay as kind of a dirt gravel mixture, though. That's how that was made. So yeah, I'm kind of getting more used to, more comfortable with Giant's editor. I'm still not like brilliant with it, but I can make minor edits to maps, as I've proven. And that's kind of where my limits lies, minor edits. So just changing dirt to asphalt or tilting. This took me ages because I was trying to do it all manually, and then I realized I could just enter the same, like, enter the figures I needed onto the tilt thing, onto the positioning thing, so that kind of sped things up immensely until I screwed up. But yeah, everything is good now. The map is more or less the way I want it. I might put in some more storage for stuff. Like, I might edit in some more storage, but I'm not 100% sure yet if I want to. But that's it. I'm happy with where the map is at the moment, and because because I've modified it and edited it, this is now, of course, a private map. I realize I'm doing that a lot now, editing maps for my own purposes and turning them into, like, completely unavailable maps. Coldborough Park is edited because it doesn't usually have soil mod, so that's something that you will have to install yourself on Coldborough Park, and you'll also have to remove Goodmiss Calc from Coldborough Park, because that's what comes in by default, is Goodmiss Calc. So you have to remove that, replace it with soil mod, and everything will still work as normal. You'll have soil mod instead of GMK. So there we go. I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers are actually just editing maps for their own use now, and it's kind of funny. Because, like, yes, we all kind of know how to do it because we've tinkered and messed around with Giant's editor. I'm pretty sure at least a few of you guys have never even seen Giant's editor, never mind used it. Honestly, I would say download it. You can get it from Giant's developer network. Just Google it, you'll find it. You'll have to create an account there, create an account with your email or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And just download Giant's editor. Open up an i3D. You'll have to unzip a map or a mod, whichever you want to tinker with. Unzip it and just double click on the i3D. It'll load up in Giant's editor, and you can fiddle around with it there. You can move things around. You can move triggers and move things. Did I move? No, I didn't. I thought I moved the silage clamp there for a minute, the way that it was sitting on the ground. No, I didn't. But yeah, Giant's editor is actually quite easy to learn, difficult to master, is the way I'd put it. You can do the absolute basics within about 5 minutes, I'd say. Doing anything more complicated, I'm still working on. I've had a few hours in it now. I can. Well, the basics really are creating terrain. The basics are creating terrain and kind of moving existing map assets around or importing map assets. The more difficult stuff is getting terrain foliage layers correct, and figuring out which foliage layer is which. That just comes from playing with everything there is. The flattening of field 2, I had to change a foliage layer within the map, within the i3D, and that took me about 5 minutes to figure out which one I actually needed to change. And it's just a simple paint tool, so it's not too bad. Or is it an info? Is it an info layer? No, it's a foliage layer, I think the info layer is like grass and asphalt and dirt. And foliage layers are like tilled dirt and ploughed dirt. So if you plough grass, it actually changes the info layer. Oh, no, it doesn't. It changes the foliage layer. Most maps are set up so that grass is by default the info layer of fields. So say if you, whenever you see the field in grass, you're just you're changing it to see what the info layer is. So it's can be grass, gravel, asphalt, dirt, and sometimes I've seen it in a few maps. Sometimes map makers get a bit. I'm not sure if it's lazy or a genuine mistake, but they make it so there are no grass fields on maps, and when you plant grass in certain fields, you can see that, oops, there's supposed to be a track going through this field, or there was at one stage during the development of the map, but the map maker decided, oh no, this is going to be a field instead, and he never removed the plans for a track. That happens actually quite a bit. I've seen on a few maps. Even Giants maps do it. If you do Giants maps, yeah, Giants maps occasionally do it where there's weird info layers going on where you don't expect them. I'm just gonna kind of layer these up in a weird way because I'm probably gonna sell most of these eventually anyway. The reason I'm putting them in over here instead of like in a shed somewhere is because I don't want corners, and if I'm selling them, I'll need to use the auto stacker again, which I'll probably end up renting again. And yeah, corners are problems. So let's continue on with the stacking of the bales and collection of the bales, which is a lot faster than actually wrapping them in the first place. Got a message on my phone. I'll check it after this video. But yeah, today actually is, what date is it? I don't know what date it is. The 27th of April. Which I actually, it's funny, I'm ahead on videos but behind where I want to be. I want to be about a week ahead. I'm only, I think, about 3 or 4 days ahead in Canada now. I'd prefer to be 6 or 7. But today is the release of Kerbal Space Program. Now I've had the early access. I've had it in early access since before it was on early access. I actually bought Kerbal Space Program way back. I can remember there is a monument at KSC in Kerbal Space Program, and I will be playing it on the channel again. I did play it before, I'll play it again because now it's version 1 and that everything's better. And I won't play it modded this time. But there's a monument at KSC, and I'll show you in the game when I get to download it, when I get to play it and record it. There's a monument for the Mark 1 capsule, which for the longest time was the only capsule you could have in the game. I remember using that. I remember like trying to get to the moon when it was just released. Like getting to the moon was a big thing back then. And now it's kind of, oh well, the moon, I can get there with the starter stuff. I can't. You might be able to after, well, with the new version, I suppose, because they've changed aerodynamics. It's gonna be interesting anyway. That much is sure. That much I'm sure of, because I've been watching very experienced players and streamers on KSP TV on Twitch, which if you enjoy space and Kerbal Space Program, I thoroughly encourage you to go over to KSP TV. They're not always streaming on there. There's not like a constant 24/7 stream of KSP, but if you're interested in space and quite regular silliness and seeing people who actually know how to play the game properly, or at the very least have put hundreds if not thousands of hours into it, I thoroughly encourage you to go over there. It's quite a fun experience being in KSP TV. Or watching it anyway. I'm not actually in KSP TV. Because I can't stream because my internet's crap. Shouldn't be, but it is. Oh well. So, these bales, I swear they're out to get me sometimes because they just get in the way all the time. And never want to get up on... There we go. Okay, so, I don't know what to talk about. This is good. This is good. I hate these days when I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna record. I'm in a good mood, want to record, and I'm gonna record. And what do I talk about? That happens just far too often for my liking, and I always like bring it up. And as soon as I bring it up, I'm like, oh, I can talk about having nothing to talk about. Like, what? Yes. YouTuber problems. Also, I have no idea why my voice is so crackly today. I think it might have something to do with the fact that I've suddenly become an insomniac. But not an insomniac per se, but more of a kind of a vampire. I don't sleep at night. I went to sleep today at about 6 AM. I woke up at I think it was like 1 PM, almost 2 PM. Then I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and before I knew it was 3 PM, and now it's just coming on to 5. Which is nice. And I'm trying to get ahead because I know I can't record on Wednesday. Wednesdays are always my like hellish, oh my god, so much to do and so little time day, because I have things that are scheduled for a specific time that I need to get to, and I always find something else that I need to do, and I already know that there's something else I need to do on Wednesday, but so I'm trying to get ahead on YouTube, and fun. Fun times. So that's what, 8, 16, 24, 32, 64 bales plus 8 is 72 bales so far. I make it. Yes, it is 72. I'm just doing some quick maths. 72 bales, and there's probably another load or two out there. So there's just over 90 bales coming off this field right now. And I'm going to continue the video until we get all bales off and we get a final number. So we're at 72. We're definitely going to get 80. I think we're going to get about 90. 90 to 92. And for everybody who lives in Ireland, no, I do not listen to 2FM. I don't listen to radio, in fact. I'm one of those people. I'm one of these people, and I don't know if you're one as well, where if it's on TV, I usually don't watch it. The only exceptions I make are pretty much Formula 1 now. It used to be Formula 1 and Top Gear. I'll probably watch like 1 or 2 episodes of new Top Gear to see what it's like. Post Clarkson era, and the post Hammond era, and the post May era, because all three of them have said, well, Clarkson's definitely not coming back. Hammond and May have said, no, we're not coming back. No Germany, no Germany, no us. So I'm guessing they're all going to go to a different program with Andy Willman, who was the executive producer for Top Gear all this time, and who's also left the BBC. So I think they're all going to go to the possibly Netflix or some sort of streaming service and do their own show there, or go to Top Gear USA, which is a possibility because they're signed with BBC Worldwide still. It's going to be interesting, and I'll watch like a couple of episodes of the whatever BBC do to Top Gear. I'll watch a couple of episodes. If it's good, I'll continue. If not, I'm done. Because really, the sitcom that Top Gear become was actually the main draw. It wasn't really about cars anymore. And at 88 bales, not bad. Yes, I can do math in my head reasonably quickly. I'm not good at maths. I'm really just... I almost failed maths in school, and I'm a scientist. I have a degree in a science, like in pretty hardcore science. I'm not going to say what, but I have a science degree, and I'm terrible at maths. So if you're like not good at maths, don't worry. Science isn't all maths. A lot of it is, but you're allowed to use calculators, so you'll all be fine. And there's no like weird numbers most of the time. So yeah, if you're not good at maths, science is probably still a good idea, unless you want to go into physics, in which case don't. So that's all the bales. I could, because I still have the wrapper, I could go over... No. I think what I'm going to do is... I'm going to return these anyway, first off. I'm going to need my mouse to do that. I need to get into the garage and return that. And return... No! Return this. My mouse is having a weird play up where it double clicks sometimes. I'm not sure why. So that's them returned. I think in the next episode we will be moving into the next day, and that means we'll have to do some more tending of the fields, because we will need to increase the soil moisture. We'll need to spray some water. I've kind of forgot the... Yeah, we're gonna have to do that now, in fact. Or like in the next episode before we even go forward today. We're gonna have to spray for soil moisture. So, I've been Rainbow Dave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 15 on the Canadian farm. Feel free to leave your thoughts below, and any comments you have at all, leave them below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. And please do hit the subscribe button. Until I see you again next time, goodbye. Oh, and stay safe. I forgot that bit.